How's it going, guys? And welcome back. Today, we do something a little different. We're gonna do a commentary of the first in the Crucible challenges, Tides of Fury, I'm sure, yeah. So the point of this video is gonna be, or Tides of Ruin, I'm sorry. The point of this video in the series is gonna be just to kind of give some commentary on the bosses, what to do, what to look out for, and just kind of help those people who haven't done these challenges yet, maybe give them a little more insight, just help them get through it. The goal of these, this is not for time, right? Not too concerned about time. Just beating them, getting them done to get you guys some tokens, right? And so you can get the cool stuff that Blade Phantom has to offer. So I'm going to post something up here before we get into it. I didn't brink guard, I just went through dodging just because it was fun. But please play how you normally do, right? As far as, what is comfortable for you, brink guard, etc. Or, reflecting, whatever you want to do. But keep in mind here that I'm just also going to, before we get into the fights, I'm going to go over my skill tree and then my stats, or my settings, what I chose to invest my points into, and I'm also going to replay them at the end just to have one full unedited fight clip so everyone can see again, that is what I used during the fights. Okay, so I'll post this up here on the screen now. And so from the left on the skill tree, you can see this all looks pretty standard, right? We have Howling Blade, we have Phantom Sword Dance, all of that. And then I put 1 point into Gale, just because I don't really use it as much for the detonation. I just use it for, right, just putting the debuff on the enemy, get some extra damage. Cool. Now you'll notice I personally don't use Ruthless here, because again, Ruthless does not have a lot of stagger, like, at all, and I'm not using Reflection, so you can't really cheese any of the bosses in that manner, right? You can't just Reflect, Ruthless spam, or Reflect and then just keep them infinitely stun locked. You can do that if you want, right? If you want to do that, cool, be my guest. But again, the goal more is to explain the bosses and help you learn them, and then help you get through that way. So I don't have Ruthless, I have Wind Chaser, Outrage, and then I have 1 point into Wind Piercer, right? Because additional points just give you additional status effect accumulation, which we're not doing here. But then I do have the other 2 tiers, because again, it is solid damage and we want that. Other than that, our Penetrate tree is nice and filled out. Except for the bottom skill there, I don't want to use Fury or Spirit to activate that. And we don't want to get hit either, right? I also don't use... I don't like that skill in the Penetrate tree as well, because it's kind of funky to get behind enemies, Zephyr, because its recovery frames are not as fast as I would like. If you guys have been watching the channel, you guys know I like to play pretty fast. I don't like the recovery frames on it. The only way to get a good bridge attack, really, is that I've seen, in my experience, is the deafness from there, which I don't want a deafness immediately after Zephyr, or Gust, and I don't really want to use 2 spirit skills and just backstab my enemy. I don't really care that much about the backstab damage, right? Personally, I just want stamina, so I'm going to always be brutaling from the front. Other than that, our guard tree, here's what I'll say, because I would, when I get to the commentary, you'll see, and I could post that here now, I would take these 3 points from the burst attack, or the counter attack. I would take those 3 skills and I would put that in Ironclad, because it's going to save you stamina if you brink guard more than dodge, right? So I would put those 3 points in Ironclad. I didn't brink guard here, so I put them in my counter attack tree just to give me some more spirit. Other than that, going on to the stats, I went with 10 vitality just because, again, I didn't want to get hit, right? If you do use 10 vitality, you'll get one shot most of the time. Sometimes you can tank probably one hit. What I would recommend is I would put in much as in vitality, just trial and error, as you want, just whatever's comfortable for you. But then don't shy away from endurance, right? Personally, I hate having low stamina. The game is infinitely more fun when you do have stamina, right? And you can just keep attacking and you can keep flowing with the boss. You'll see, like, I hate waiting for my stamina to regen. I don't like the downtime. So 60 endurance worked pretty well for the most part. But if you want to put in vitality, what I would do personally is I would take away from your main stat and then I would go in vitality from there. Endurance, you don't want to be low on stamina, right? Because then you're going to be forced to be like in a stuck brink guard chain, or if you're dodging, you're not going to get as much stamina back. You want to have that resource to work with. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoy the commentary. It's my first commentary video, so please go easy on me. Yeah, other than that, enjoy the fights. I'll also post a visual too, just to let you see. I have done both challenges. I've done all of them. So hopefully I can post more videos like this in the future. If it's well received, I'll probably continue this series. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, enjoy the fights. Pop our Phantom Sword Dance. Make sure that's up. We want that up as much as we can. This combo is safe here. Again, we're just gonna work on our Howling Blade, right? Trying to think a couple steps ahead. Now that right there, that move, really with the Yeti, that is, really that's the only move to really watch out for. It's probably his fastest move, is that little, looks like he's throwing a little temper tantrum, like slams his hands down. It's usually when he's repositioning, but that's really the biggest thing you have to watch out for. Other than that, as you can see, most of his moves are pretty telegraphed. Actually, as I say that, I would say that's the only other one, right? His two moves, a little temper tantrum one, and that when he does his run. So you can see I was waiting for it, right? I knew it was coming up, and I wanted to have some stamina to just get out of the way. Other than that, and again, as you can see, we're just kind of working our Howling Blade, right? Parrying when needed. I will say too, you'll see in these clips, or well, I should say in this run, I usually like to brutal attack from the front, just as I just like having stamina. I hate being low on stamina. I hate waiting for my stamina to regen, because I just want to keep attacking, right? I just let me keep swinging. Another thing with the Yeti, you have to, well, it'll be advantageous to control the fight as far as where he is on the wall, because a lot of times you can get trapped, right, in between him and the wall, and you can get hit by those attacks when his back is up against the wall, and you just get body blocked and you can't move. Alright, so we ended this fight here. We're looking good. We have just enough spirit to get into the next fight, so we can pop our Phantom Sword Dance as well. Again, we're not really going for time, right? We're just going for, safety for the most part. But I will say also, if you're having trouble with these, just brink guard, right? Brink guard where you feel comfortable. So we open up the Wind Chaser, you dodge, you want to apply Gale. I need some stamina, so I dodge here so I get my stamina back. Our stamina's still looking good. Here too, I'm paying attention to his stamina bar, so I can see right here I'm about to break him, and I have a full stamina bar to get exhausted damage back on him for that multiplier. There we go. Okay, I want to do enough stamina damage to him before he goes up in the air. Get a little nimble blitz. And I want to exhaust him again as soon as possible. Also, when he's jumping around like this, if you have trouble brink guarding this or dodging it, I recommend just stand still. Just stand still. It's less to worry about, right, when you're moving around. Working our Howling Blade. Because when you're moving around when he's jumping, it messes with the timing, right? Alright, so here's good. I broke his horns. I know that once he's done being stunned, I'll get an exhausted buff. So that's why I extended my combo, so I can get the double slash with maximum damage. Getting all this exhausted damage. And don't be afraid to burn your spirit bar too, right? I know that in going into the next fight, I just want... all I need is 2 spirits to start off the fight. And I finished the fight here, luckily, just in time. Or just with that amount. I will say with Viper, though, the biggest thing is his quickest attacks are his little slashes. Which once his health bar gets to the lower half, his double slash turns into a 4-piece. So the biggest thing with Volby that I've come to learn is aggressive action is your best friend. You'll see in this fight too, his attacks are really close together, and aggressive action is the best way to get an attack in while using deafness. So you can see I even use my neutral dash aggressive action. So here I just want to do enough damage, and I want my full stamina bar so I can do stamina damage to him before he goes to the next level. So with Volby, your biggest challenge is just trying to kill him before his second phase. You do not want him to go up there. It's just annoying to deal with. So here's where the aggressive action deafness comes in. For me, this is the easiest way to deal with this portion. Just aggressive action, deafness, deafness. And because we get our stamina back on dodge, it works out really well. We can maintain that. See again here, aggressive action, deafness, aggressive action. Easy. Now, when you burst counter Volby 2, he's permanent. He will be perma-stunned. He doesn't regain poise like Shactuka or LMA or anything. So you get solid damage in here. Now, I got all this damage with his exhausted state, so I know here I'm feeling good. I know that I'm going to be able to kill him before second phase. I saw him rotate too, so I was able to just continue my combo. And I get the backstab damage for Gust, and I can negate his little shockwave. We're good to go. Going into Shactuka, I'll say too, he more efficient is just brink guarding. Again, because you do damage while brink guarding, and you get blowback vengeance too. I just dodged here just because I wanted to do it without brink guarding, just dodges. But like this combo, for example, you just brink guard, right? You're gonna do damage to him and more stamina damage, so. For the grab. The grab is pretty easy to dodge too. You can tell when it's the grab versus the bite lunge when he throws up both of his arms, touches the ground to start his leap for the grab. See that? Now that was the grab. Working our Howling Blade. Now I have to run a 5k to get back around to his head. Yeah, try your best to not exhaust him when you're to his side. Another burst attack. Now that burst attack, what I've learned is he's about to throw, it's almost like his whole arm disappears before it comes. This burst attack, the easiest tell for me is his claw is coming straight towards you, but as soon as he rotates and you start to see his thumb or his fingers from his thumb, that's when it's about to hit. That's when I activate it. So I just look at his wrist, really. Alright, that's the fight. And the last thing I'll say about Shactuka, though, is be careful after you burst attack him, because he will regain poise eventually, unlike Volby. I believe if his stamina bar is above half. if it's below half, like you saw there, when I burst countered him, he didn't regain poise, and I was able to just deplete the rest of his stamina bar. Now I'm just going to go over what I'm using here, as I should have done in the intro as well, but just so everyone can see, so you know it's all one unedited clip as well. This is what I used going in, not just a clip before. That's everything. All right. Well, thanks again for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.